This episode is sponsored by The Alcohol Experiment, a free 30-day challenge designed to interrupt your patterns, give you control, restore your health, and put you back in touch with the version of you who doesn't need alcohol to cope, relax, or enjoy life. More than 220,000 people have already tried The Alcohol Experiment for themselves and have seen improved sleep, increased happiness, reduced anxiety, and so much more. Join thousands in this inspiring, hopeful, and exciting program where you examine your beliefs and reconnect with the best version of you without ever feeling like you're missing out. Start today for free at alcoholexperiment.com. Hi, this is Annie Grace, and I am so excited to bring you this video series. This series is 4 videos, and it's titled What I Wish I Would Have Known Before My First Drink. And it's really a letter to my children. What I wish I would have known for myself and what I'm so excited to tell them. So no matter what age you are, what age your children are, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing, because the number one question I get asked is, how do I talk to my children about alcohol? How do I make this stuff simple for them or make sense for them or help them to understand? So maybe they don't take the path that I took, or maybe you didn't take that path yourself, but you see around you and you just worry about your kids. I get it. Me too. And this is what I wrote to my kids, and I'm so excited to share it with you. And it is truly the 4 things that I know would have changed my trajectory with alcohol. They're the things that I wish I would have known before my first drink. This is video 1 of what I wish I would have known before my first drink. And this is called Bison Hunting and Raspberries. Imagine living back in the Stone Age and trying to survive without the internet or a grocery store. Does that sound terrible to you? Well, there's great news, because your brain is actually a survival machine. And one of the ways the brain helps us to survive is by producing dopamine. Now, dopamine is called a neurotransmitter, and neuro just means brain, and transmitter means mover of information. So dopamine, basically, it makes us do stuff. So you're a hunter-gatherer, you're in the Stone Age, you're looking for food, and you find a wild raspberry bush. You gather up all the berries, and your brain lights up and says, boom, 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 and releases, you guessed it, dopamine. And dopamine says, yes, raspberries are good. They will help us survive. Let's remember raspberries. The brain produces dopamine when it thinks it's found something that will help you survive, like food, raspberries, or take bison hunting. In the Stone Age, our brains release dopamine to trigger a nice feeling when we hit our target. Bison for dinner? Finding and eating wild raspberries feels good. Hitting a target while hunting, it also feels good. And we want to do these things again and again and again. And your brain actually knows it's easier to do something when you want to do it. So dopamine creates that desire, that wanting. Now, most of us don't hunt bison anymore, but we experience that same feeling, the rush of hitting a target, with playing video games. It feels good to hit the target in the game. That's, again, dopamine. But instead of just occasionally hitting a target, like when we were hunting, we can hit the target hundreds of times per minute playing video games. Dopamine, 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 extra dopamine. Eventually, we create artificially high levels of dopamine, and artificial just means not found in nature. So what's the problem? Here's where it gets really interesting. Dopamine creates desire, which is wanting, but it doesn't necessarily create enjoyment, which is liking. So you end up really wanting to do something you might not even like. Say what? But maybe you've experienced this. I mean, think of a time when you were younger and you ate a ton of Halloween candy, so much candy that it stopped tasting good to you and you even felt sick. Some part of you still wanted to eat the candy, even when it wasn't fun anymore. You wanted it, but you no longer liked it. Why did you eat more than you enjoyed? Dopamine. Dopamine makes you believe that you still want it, even after you no longer like it. And while raspberries create this normal, yes, this is good, let's do this again, type of response from your brain, candy flexes on your dopamine system. It triggers so much dopamine that it hacks your brain. Or maybe more recently, you were playing a video game or scrolling TikTok all day over the weekend in the summertime. And by the end of the day, you probably got sick of it, but you kept staring at the screen anyway. Why did you keep playing the game or watching the videos, even when you were tired of it? You guessed it. Dopamine hacked your brain. In fact, all addictive substances do this, from heroin to alcohol to video games to processed sugar. They all hack your brain by creating artificially high levels of dopamine. And guess what else addictive substances have in common? Profit, dollars. Somebody somewhere is making a lot of money hacking your brain, selling you stuff that will make you want more and more and more of it even after you stop liking it. Alcohol makes our dopamine levels go especially wild. So it doesn't even matter if it tastes bad. My first taste was gross. I actually spit it out, or the feeling isn't even all that fun. I just felt really dizzy. Our brains learn. The brain decides that alcohol is important. And the brain is our body's survival machine. And so it gets the message that we need to drink more in order to survive. And eventually, alcohol tricks your brain into believing you can't survive without it. So when you drink, even if you don't really like it, the alcohol is slowly hacking your brain, telling you to do it again and again and again. Alcohol is addictive, not just to some humans, but to all humans, any human with a brain at least. And a lot of money is spent advertising alcohol, especially targeting younger people, because they know the sooner they get you to drink, the sooner your brain will believe it needs alcohol and the more money they will make. And that is something I wish I would have known before my first drink. Did you miss this Naked Mind Live? Do you maybe have a little bit of FOMO? But don't worry, I've got you covered. In fact, I had the entire event professionally recorded and it's available digitally. Transformation in your living room. Yep, that is what it's all about. You can grab your digital ticket at thisnakedmind.com/digital ticket. And as always, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast as it truly helps the message reach somebody who might need to hear it today.